Elon Musk says he's rebranding Twitter to X, and that could get him in some legal trouble. We thought we would check in with our good friend John Rizvi, known as the Patent Professor. Professor, thank you for joining us.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so tell us about Musk's renaming Twitter. Is this going to lead him into legal trouble?
It very likely is going to result in, I think, multiple lawsuits. He wants to rebrand Twitter as X. And the problem is there's over 900 companies that already have X as part of their name, including Microsoft has the Xbox, and Meta, formerly Facebook, has a trademark on Meta's X as well. So those are like major issues that could possibly arise. Not to mention when you buy a company, you're buying, of course, a lot of assets. And in the past, it was land, buildings, equipment, factories. But today, when you purchase, a huge part of the purchase price is the intellectual property, the value of the branding. So when Elon Musk paid $44 billion for Twitter, a huge part of that valuation is from the name and the branding. Now, if he was going to completely start over with branding, and branding is something else, that $44 billion, a lot of it could have been used to build up the value of the brand as well. So not just does this bring up interesting potential legal problems in terms of lawsuits for trademark infringement, but brings into question the value of what was paid for. There's already, of course, lawsuits, I believe, still underway, claiming that Twitter had misrepresented the number of users, and Elon felt that he had overpaid because of the number of users. But now, if he's not even going to use the branding, then the question is how much did he overpay for Twitter?
Well, one of our colleagues has an interesting conspiracy theory about all this that I can't get into right now, but I read that you wrote, okay, Musk launched the original X.com in 99. That was a one-stop digital banking platform. That he folded that into PayPal and eBay and bought the domain name back from PayPal in 2017. So I don't understand why there would be legal challenges.
Yeah, so, domain names are separate than trademarks. So somebody can own a domain name and, believe it or not necessarily have the use to use it as a brand. So, so Elon does own the domain name X.com, and nobody is arguing that they should have the domain name, but there could certainly be questions as to whether consumers would be confused by branding of Twitter as X. Certainly, Elon likes X. I mean, SpaceX, for example, he uses X in SpaceX. Right. He has an AI company, XAI. And originally, at one point, he said he had purchased the domain name X.com for sentimental reasons back in, I guess, 2017 from PayPal, but clearly now it's beyond sentimental reasons. Now it's a desire to rebrand. And it's not just a matter of the company name itself, but Twitter and tweets have become so much ingrained into our culture that they're almost, a tweet is almost used as a verb. And Elon is suggesting that instead of saying that someone tweeted something, that they're going to refer to it as Xing something. So you X something out. I don't know how well that's going to take off, because typically that goes against normally the meaning of Xing something is to nix it, right?
Right.
Let's go to the beach. No, I want to X that. Let's cancel it, or it's just not, it doesn't flow. More than that, what about the incredible value that is being kind of left on the table of Twitter and tweet?
Well, and that's kind of, I think that's part of at least one of these conspiracy theories, is that he still is an ally of former President Trump, correct?
And I don't know, and I don't know
that has anything to do with it. Because former President Trump, was at war with Twitter, so you almost kind of wonder if this is just some elaborate design to bring Twitter down, not to rebrand it, but to make it less valuable and less appealing to the users who then move on to a different platform. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would you take something as globally recognizable as Twitter and try to turn it into something else?
And I completely understand where the conspiracy theories are coming from, because the normal theories of business and branding are not making sense. I mean, the closest analogy I can think of is somebody paying a huge premium for this beautiful oceanfront property with amazing views of the beach, and then planting right in front of the patio a hedge, right? A
Exactly.
10-foot hedge that completely blocks the view.
Exactly.
So the whole value of the land was the view, and you want to block that. So the how much of this $44 billion was part of the valuation was the branding for Twitter and the tweet and the place it held in the consumer's mind. You pay for all of that, and then you practically set it on fire. So that's where these conspiracy theories come from. Like, it's, people think, well, okay, when normal rules of business and branding and trademark law and IP are not making sense, then people start thinking, gosh, maybe there's something more here that we're not seeing.
I know. Do you have a personal view of that? It does make one wonder. And are we just supposed to, if he does go through with all this, there is no longer Twitter and we no longer tweet?
So, I mean, so here's my personal view is that Twitter and tweet, maybe Elon Musk sees them as being limiting to what he can do with that company. And the goal with X was to turn it into the everything app, right? So it can be everything from banking to chatting online to ordering food, the everything app. The problem is when you're talking about trademark law, trademarks are field specific. They relate to the goods and services. And if you want to have a trademark that applies to everything, you really have to get something extremely unique. You can't get something general. And just a quick example of how trademarks are field specific. There's one company, Dove, for chocolate, right? Dove chocolate, and they have a trademark. And there's another completely different trademark for Dove for beauty products. And they both can coexist because they have extremely narrow class of goods or services that they're focusing on. They both are in their own lanes. And if Elon Musk had a narrow lane that he wanted to stay in for branding for X, then he could possibly still coexist and have a concurrent use agreement where he doesn't overlap with Facebook or Meta or Microsoft. But what makes that hard to understand is that he's not claiming a narrow lane. When you call something the everything app and you're claiming that Twitter is going to allow you to do everything from, like I said, chatting to ordering food to banking, well, now you don't have a lane anymore. And if you don't have a lane, you better have a creative, unique trademark and a brand that really is separate from anything else out there. And he had that. He had that with Twitter, right? And he paid $44 billion for the company, and a big part of that purchase price was for that unique branding. And that's where this analogy of buying an oceanfront property with this gorgeous view and then putting a 10-foot hedge and just ruining the view comes from. So that's where the conspiracy theory is like, okay, so certainly something else is at play. I guess time is the only thing that's going to tell how this is going to play out in the courts, or if it ends up settling out of court. Maybe there's some kind of settlement on some of these lawsuits. But that's an additional drain on funding coming at a time when Twitter is already losing advertising revenues and the trajectory has been downhill. This just does not make sense.
No, we shall see. John Rizvi is the patent professor. Thanks so much. It's always good to talk to you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.